And we have Marcus C. Williams, Chairman of the Rochester City Republican Committee and a prominent conservative voice in Western New York, an entrepreneur and business consultant. He is the principal of MCW Media Group and host of The Divide with Marcus C. Williams. He is a policy advisor. He's worked across various levels of government on regional and infrastructure. He is also the founder of Monroe Energy Council. Let's give Marcus a hand. Marcus, who would you say is the father of Black conservative thinking?
Well, as far as the father of Black conservative thinking goes, it's really something that's family-centric, right? So it's not to say one person, because as a people, we focus on family, we focus on doing it yourself, and we focus on how we can uplift our community and work together to improve. But if we were to say who's the father, I'd say maybe, probably we could go back and look at Benjamin Franklin, right? One of the first leaders to actually show us that we can achieve massive things, even in hard times. And then we've got Booker T. Washington, who not only was a prominent thinker, he was a prominent action taker. He helped us establish many institutions, encouraged us to do for ourselves, encouraged us to stand up on our own too, and not just ask for a handout, but actually to stand up, build our own economy, build up our own people, build up the trades, so that we can show that yes, we do have stuff to offer, and yes, we can do for ourselves, and no, we do not need the government, but if the government's given something we can help with, we'll take that. So this is the difference from a lot of what's going on today, where they say, oh, just gimme from the government, oh, I'll rely on the government. No, daddy, government. It's about our family, our people first. That's what Black conservatism is about.
Okay. Marcus, what ideas of Thomas Sowell do you think are most applicable to the Black community?
So Thomas Sowell, if you guys aren't familiar with him, please go take a moment and look him up. Like a very, very interesting fellow. If you guys know Frederick Douglass at all, he was really about us doing for ourselves and telling the government to leave us alone. That's what he said the best thing that the government could do is leave us alone. That's Frederick Douglass. Now with Thomas Sowell, he talked about a lot about how the government and people in the government, similar to what Cliff said, that they tell us stuff. They offer us, say, oh, well, this is going to help, that's going to help. Okay, does it help? Where are the tangibles? You've told us for years this is going to help. I'll take the school district as an example. School district, school board, most of the people work in it, on it, around it, have looked like us. And it's done nothing but fail our students, fail our community, fail our people over and over again while draining the money from our taxes that should be going to actually addressing the issues in our community. So we have to actually engage with our elected officials and our government and say, hey, is the way that you're stewarding us as your constituents the way that is actually going to be beneficial? And generally it's not. So he says that what we need to do is we need to make sure that we are educating our people, not just book smarts, but also in trades, also in economic knowledge, so that we can build for ourselves, because we cannot rely on the government, because the government does nothing but feed itself. That's why they're always raising taxes. That's why they've always got something else to sell you about, you need this, you need our help, or let's get the fathers out of the households so that the government can be the daddies. And this is what we're facing right now as a community. We talk about the 60s and the 70s and stuff like that. We have to mention Lyndon B. Johnson and what he did with the Great Society Project, with the deindustrialization of the city centers, taking all the jobs out of the city, okay? Taking the fathers out of the home. You can't have a man's shoes in front of your door, otherwise they're taking you off of any type of food assistance or anything like that. So this goes exactly into the teachings of what Thomas would talk about, which is, and he's still alive, by the way, a little bit, okay, for not too much longer, probably. He's up in age now, but we gotta appreciate them while they're with us, right? So he talks about how we have to reestablish the black family. Because back in the 70s, late 60s, we were not only one of the most powerful groups in society, we were also the largest portion of the middle class. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. We had our own businesses, we had our own schools, we had our own everything. Then they sold to us that the white man's ice was colder than ours. So we said, oh, let's desegregate, let's go with them and do all of that. Now what do we have? We don't even have the corner stores in our neighborhood. Last one that I remember was Freddy's over in the night. Y'all remember 1940? You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so this is what we're dealing with, and this is what Saul talks about: economic empowerment, reestablishment of the family, and shaking the government off of our backs because they're not for us. They've never been for us, and it's not that they're aggressively going against us. It's that we are allowing them to drive our bus.
Okay. That's why you're here.
So, to Devin's point, that's our issue with the black community. Right now, we got these people out here telling us we need to stand up for these farmers. We need to stand up for ourselves. I don't know. Okay, they ain't never look out for us. They ain't never come over here and say, oh, let's help out the black man. No, our communities are in ruin. They move into our communities. They take the resources that are for our people, and they use them for themselves to benefit themselves. I'm not mad at them. Why? Because we let them do it. But if we're going to actually uplift ourselves and we're going to fight forward for our future, we can't be concerned with all these other people that are from all these other countries. We need to look at our neighborhoods, our community, our people, and we need to make sure that we are establishing whole families, two-parent households. We need to stop getting rid of our children, okay? Because we are only 14% of the population, and if we wouldn't have killed off all our babies, which is the biggest genocide that nobody wants to talk about, okay, we would be 25% of the population instead of 14. And that's on the low numbers, okay? So, comprehensive households, two-parent families, make sure our children are getting the appropriate education that they need because it's clearly not coming from the schools, so we need to be doing it in our communities. And on the last tip on that, we need to reestablish our self-effort, to Devin's point, of building our own businesses, doing business with our own people, and keeping our money circulating in our businesses. And that's why we need the trades. We need to lean on that and teaching our people. That's why we need financial education and financial institutions. We don't have no financial institutions. Right now they're pushing, oh, well, we should have the government financial institution. Government don't do nothing for us. You think the government has more control over your money is about to help you some? Come on now. We need our own financial advisors. We got a couple, but we need our own financial businesses. We need to be investing in our projects that we need to build in our communities instead of them having these institutional investors come in and do projects like Bull's Head where they're pushing everybody out of the neighborhood. Okay? That's what we need to do. We need to preserve our future, but it starts from today.
No black men on that job.
Amen. Exactly.
Karen, you want to say something about here?
Exactly.